Hello there, I hope you're doing well and you're also studying well. In this video, we are going to be discussing two topics, that is composition scheme for service providers, one. Second, benefit for marginal supply of service. Alright, so please open your textbook, open page number 603. I'm using a textbook exclusively because all of you, each one of you who's going to watch this lecture is going to have your textbook with you. And also one important thing I've been telling you, to prepare for your exams, you need to study only from your textbook. You may want to refer from some other source just for extra information, but if you do not study the textbook, then it's game over, right? Yes. Alright, so first we'll begin with benefit for marginal supply of service. What is marginal supply? Let's say I'm selling AC, okay? I'm dealing with selling AC. Now, I also give installation service or repair service. But when we come to composition scheme, it is clearly said that if you are giving any sort of service other than restaurant service, then you become automatically ineligible to opt for composition scheme. Right? But now let's say I'm a trader. You can consider any sort of trader. But what if I'm giving also transport service? Right? So I'm engaged in giving a service, so I become ineligible for composition scheme. So what logic is this, right? But my main criteria is to sell the AC or to trade the goods, right? So the government brought in a new concept, that is marginal supply of service. If you're giving any extra service along with your goods, okay, you become eligible for composition scheme. So this is the entire topic. We'll see what it is, right? So they told you composition scheme, if you're trading in goods, you're eligible. If you're trading in service, that is only restaurant service, they said. But if you go watch my amendment video, you also know that one more service has been added here. If you are engaged in giving an exempt service of money lending of deposits, loans and advances, where the entire consideration is in the form of interest or discount. You know that, right? You must have seen my amendment video. Go watch it if you've not watched it. So this is another service that has been added to the list of services that can be opted under composition scheme. Alright. So if you are engaged in money lending service, that is by giving deposits, loans or advance, and your consideration should be solely from interest or discount, that will be an exempt service. And if you are engaged in such an exempt service, you can also opt for composition scheme. Right? Okay. So this is like revision for you, right? If you've already watched the amendment video, right? Like I told you, if you are selling AC and you want to give installation service, earlier what would happen? You would automatically become ineligible for composition, but now you become eligible. What is that? So they're telling you, if you're giving a marginal supply of service, see here specifically they're telling you other than restaurant service. See, when you're selling goods and along with that you're giving any other service, but that service should not be restaurant service. Okay, fine. Now what is it that telling you? The specified value is the value not exceeding 10% of the turnover in a state or union territory in the preceding financial year. In the previous financial year, it should not exceed 10% of the value or 10% of the turnover or 5 lakhs, whichever is higher. See, you will be able to understand if I give you an example. Let's take the same example that's given in the textbook. Ram is engaged in supply of goods. Okay, his aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year, okay, in the previous year is 80 lakhs. See, you guys are already pro at income tax, right? By now you know what is assessment year and financial year. You know that, right? So in the preceding financial year is 80 lakhs. Since his aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year does not exceed 1.5 crores, what happens? He is eligible for composition scheme. We know that the turnover limit is 1.5 crores. So if you are well within 1.5 crores, yes, you are eligible for composition scheme. So further, in the current financial year, what he does, he can supply services other than restaurant service. Now, like I told you, right, AC plus installation service. But this service should not be a restaurant service, right? So for restaurant service, they've clearly specifically given a separate rate for composition scheme. Now, up to a value not exceeding, see here, 80 lakhs, right? 80 lakhs, 10% of 80 lakhs is 8 lakhs or 5 lakhs. So if Mr. Ram is giving service, what is that? Let's say installation service only, okay? Installation service, and the turnover, whatever he earns from this installation service, should be less than 8 lakhs. So he is telling you 8 lakhs or 5 lakhs, whichever is higher. So we'll take, which one? We'll take 8 lakhs as our cap, right? So if the aggregate turnover from my installation service is less than 8 lakhs, then I will be able to opt for composition scheme, right? Thus, he can supply services up to a value of 8 lakhs in current financial year. So he can supply only up to rupees 8 lakhs. but if at all his turnover increases or goes beyond 8 lakhs, he becomes ineligible to opt for composition scheme, right? Fine. So this was simple. Any margin supply of goods, 10% of the turnover or 5 lakhs, whichever is higher, you take that cap. If you are earning within that cap, well and good, you can stay in composition. But if you are earning above that cap, okay, above that cap from that particular service, then you will become ineligible for composition scheme. Simple, right? Right. Now, coming to another interesting concept, that is composition scheme for service providers. We have seen that service providers can be two. One is restaurant service provider and one is that exempt service provider. Exempt service provider is a new addition. Please make a note of that. Now the government again realized there are a lot of service providers who are in need of composition scheme. Let's say like salon, stylist, tailors and all these people whose aggregate turnover is less than 50 lakhs. Okay. Less than 50 lakh rupees. They're telling these small service providers, the entire crux or the entire idea behind composition scheme is to reduce the burden of the taxpayer, right? So what does he do? He has to file only one annual return and quarterly returns, right? Unlike monthly returns, he does not have to pay tax every month, but only once in a quarter he has to pay tax, right? So here they're telling you what is this composition scheme for service providers. He's telling you if your aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year, okay, aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year did not exceed 50 lakh rupees, okay. See, otherwise we had seen 1.5 crores, right, for goods. Here did not exceed 50 lakh rupees. If I'm a service provider, let's say I own a salon, okay, example, I own a salon and my aggregate turnover in my last year, that is my previous financial year, what happens, it is below 50 lakhs. So I can opt for composition scheme. I need not necessarily be in the forward charge, need not necessarily be in the regular scheme of registration, right? So what is the tax that you're going to pay? See, don't get confused, they're saying 3%, right? 3% of CGST. See, this is CGST Act. So 3% CGST, okay, and 3% SGST you have to pay. So total how much you're paying? What is 3 plus 3? Yes, right. 6% is your tax. So close your eyes and just pay 6%. If at all your if your aggregate turnover is 10 lakhs, just pay 6% on that and game over, right? Nothing else. You don't have to do any sort. You don't have to sit and calculate your ITC, file monthly returns. No hassles, nothing. Composition scheme is for hassle-free taxation, right? But again, they're telling you, see, now they're telling you 3% of the turnover in state or turnover in union territory. So how much will you pay? What is this 10 lakhs? 10 lakhs is 3% of the turnover in state or turnover in union territory. Means what? Come here, they've again given you, it's there in your textbook. See here. The expression turnover in state or turnover in union territory shall not include the value of supplies, namely supplies from the first day of April of financial year up to the date when such person becomes liable for registration under this act. Means what? Let's say 1st April 2019. Now 4th May you become liable for registration, okay. So until this the period which is from 1st April 2019 to 4th of May 2020, that turnover, you will not pay any tax on that turnover, right? Fine, because you're not even registered, right? You're not even registered, and on that you will not pay under composition scheme. Only after you opt for composition scheme, on that whatever turnover you make, right, on that you will pay 6% turnover. Right? Fine. Okay. Again, they're telling you if same conditions what was there before, again it's repeated that you should not be engaged in supply of goods or services which are not liable to tax. See, whatever you're selling itself is not liable to tax. Why do you want to come into composition? One, simple. Second, you should not be under interstate outward supply of goods or service. Same, all the conditions for fulfillment are the same, and if at all you breach any of these conditions, what happens? You know that, right? Yes, right. Next, then you should not be engaged in supply of goods or service through ECO, who is required to collect TCS under section 52. Same thing. Again, manufacturer. Again, here there was one amendment, right? You remember that? What is it? Yes, tell me. Correct. So the manufacturer of ice cream, pan masala, tobacco and other tobacco products, and also one more, what got added? Aerated drinks. If I'm a manufacturer of aerated drinks, I cannot opt for composition scheme. Simple. Yes. CTP, NRTP, casual taxable person, non-resident taxable person cannot opt for composition scheme. Here, what does it mean? If the person has one same PAN, okay, now I have 3 business, let's say I have 3 business, and can I say only one business I'll opt for composition, another 2 I don't want to opt for composition? Can I say that? No, you cannot do that. If you are under composition, all the businesses that is in your name, right, you will have only one PAN, right? You will have distinct businesses. Even if you have distinct businesses, all the businesses coming under your PAN should be under composition only. You cannot say business A I will opt, business B I will not opt. You do not have that option. If you choose to opt out of composition for another business, you automatically get withdrawn from composition even for the current business. You know those conditions very well, I'm sure of that. Right, fine. Now they're telling you, what do you mean by aggregate turnover? We saw, no, aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year should not exceed 50 lakh rupees, then you can opt for composition scheme. Simple, right? So what is it they're telling you? Aggregate turnover means, so whatever I earned from 1st April, whatever I earned from first day of April of financial year up to the date when he becomes liable for registration. So first day of April of financial year, right? So financial year 1920. If you're taking financial year 1920, assessment year is 2021, right? All right. So first day of April from 1/4/2019 to until you opt for composition or until you become liable for registration. Let's say on 4th May 2020 you became liable for registration. So this turnover, but shall not include the value of, again, let's say all the taxable supplies, okay, whatever turnover you made during this period, all taxable supplies. But even if you have made any exempt supply by way of money lending, that is from deposit, loans and advances, and your consideration is solely from interest or discount, whatever you earned from that, whatever revenue you earned from that, you should not be calculating it in your aggregate turnover, right? Okay, tell me in simple terms, what have you learnt about aggregate turnover? Taxable supply, exempt supplies and nil supplies, correct? Intrastate supplies and interstate supplies, everything you should calculate for the purpose of aggregate turnover, right? But they're telling you, whatever exempt supplies you made from deposits, loans and advances and earned interest or discount, that turnover should not be computed for the purpose of that 50 lakh frame, right? All right, fine. So just have a look over it and just read it again, you'll be able to understand. And you know that if at all you breach any of the threshold, or if at all, if a turnover is 51 lakhs, are you eligible for composition? No, you're not. And if at all you breach any of those conditions, that interstate supply, CTP, NRTP, all those conditions what we just saw, you automatically get withdrawn from composition scheme, right? Yes. One more important thing I always stress upon, please use your textbook. Do not attempt your paper without studying your textbook, right? So you have less than 2 months, let's say you have less than 2 months, and I'm sure your preparation for your exams is at high volume, full speed, right? So if you're interested to speed up, if you find GST difficult, you can always resort to watching my lectures. There are a few lectures on our website as well as on YouTube. If you want, you can purchase the lectures. I leave a link below, right? Fine. So this was about composition scheme and marginal supply. So I hope you found this helpful. Please keep studying well and be consistent with your studies.